Hearth-Warming Eve by Admiral Biscuit. The grey mailmare sludged through the slushy streets of Ponyville. Her scarf was soaked, her hooves frozen, and her mane had about an inch of snow cover. Her back felt like it was going to break from the twin anchors of saddlebags slung across it. She looked around dejectedly at the cheering, beckoning glow that came from everypony's house. Sadly, it was not for her. She still had her duties to perform. She had known that this week would be busy. She had arrived at the train station an hour before the morning train and gave a helping hoof sorting the outgoing mail, bagging it, and then, after the train arrived, repeating the process with the incoming mail. As soon as her route was ready, she strapped on her saddlebags and set out in the quiet morning calm. She was not alone in this endeavor either. Many of the local farmers pulled wagons with the larger packages. She had spent the first 2 days at the beginning of the week accompanied by none other than Big Macintosh. Despite the fact he rarely spoke more than one word per every quarter hour, it felt nice to have company in what was often a solitary pursuit. Today, however, there had been no large packages, and she had been all alone today, each time at another half hour to her route. To make matters worse, it had started to snow midday. As she passed by Sugar Cube Corner, the scent of baked goods wafting forth nearly broke her resolve, and it took every ounce of willpower she possessed to not just gallop inside and have a hot chocolate or three. And a few muffins. But the mail had to be delivered. As she trudged by the store, she heard the gleeful cries of the cake's foals, and her heart ached with loneliness. Her own foals were at home, no doubt missing her, and she couldn't be there for them. She always tried to be home before Dinky got out of school and Sparkler finished work, but that was unmanageable this time of year. There were but a few more stops for her, and she had no intention of going back to the post office tonight. She would see it soon enough in the morning. Legs numb, she knocked on a few doors, handed over a few mouthfuls of letters, and finally headed towards her house. Walking up the front walk warmed her heart immeasurably. The light post in front of her house had been liberally fastened with ribbons and garland, and candles graced all the open windows. A beautiful wraith framed the window in the front door, and a herd of snow ponies occupied the front yard. She smiled, seeing snow pegasi with fur wings, snow unicorns with carrot horns, and, of course, the traditional broom-tailed variety of earth pony. As she got close to the door, the inviting smell of thick stew and fresh-baked sugar cookies drifted forth enticingly. As tempting as it was to just bolt inside, she stopped at the stoop for a moment to remove her soggy boots, managing to grip all four in her teeth as she pushed open the door, and Dinky wrapped around her neck in a huge hug. She dragged her into the living room, tossing her saddlebags with practiced ease onto the table before returning the hug. "I need help with the soup," Sparkler announced as she walked into the kitchen. "You want to help me, Dinks?" "Aw, I want to stay with Mommy," Dinky pouted. "That's my muffin." She ran a hoof through Dinky's mane. "Come on, Mommy needs to get cleaned off so she doesn't drip everywhere." As the steaming hot water ran across her tired, cold body, she once again thanked whatever ponies had invented indoor plumbing and hot water heaters. She could feel the tension in her back relaxing and the sluggish circulation in her extremities work its way back to normal. Just outside the shower curtain, Dinky kept up a constant monologue of the day's events in the breathlessly excited way only foals have of describing a perfectly ordinary day. When she finally stepped out of the shower, Sparkler was waiting with a huge fluffy towel and wasted no time drying her off. Finally feeling warm and relaxed, she sat down at the kitchen table with a giant bowl of hot barley soup, which warmed up everything the shower couldn't. After eating more sugar cookies than was strictly necessary, she got up to wash the dishes, but Sparkler waved a hoof at her. "They'll keep till morning." "Did you get everything done today, Mommy?" Dinky looked at the saddlebags brightly. She nodded, and the three made their way into the living room. One by one, she pulled envelopes and packages from her saddlebags. Candies, scarves, and baked goods soon adorned the living room table, and the mantel was covered with a fresh swathe of cards. Every pony on her route had given her something. Dinky bounced around excitedly, reading each one and taking a small sample of each kind of cookie, while she relaxed on the couch next to Sparkler, occasionally sipping a tall glass of hot chocolate through a pink straw that was a near-perfect match to Sparkler's fur. Before too long, Dinky's sugar rush became a sugar crash as she listedly patrolled the table for a sweet she hadn't eaten yet. Her head hung lower and lower until she finally struggled up onto the couch, snuggled up next to her mother, and unceremoniously fell asleep. As the fire burned low, Sparkler grabbed a half-full bottle of brandy, a gift from yesterday, and poured 2 glasses. The two sat side by side on the couch, saying nothing, just listening to Dinky's soft snores, the ticking of the clock on the wall, and the occasional pops and crackle from the fire. As she set a wing around each daughter, she smiled. This truly was the most wonderful time of year. Hello everyone, this is Godzilla with One, and that was Her Swarming Eve by Admiral Biscuit. And man, is that a fun name to say. In honor of the holiday, I plan to do one of these live readings each week, and this was the first one. This story is simple, but that's really what all three of these live readings I'm going to do are and why I chose them. Short, simple stories that capture the holiday in some way. In this case, the thing I love about this story is how inviting it makes Ponyville during the Hearth swarming season. The first half of the story is just Derpy trotting through town, seeing the warmth and colors of the holiday around her, and being sorely tempted to join in, which she only does at her own home. But the part that seals it is the fact that every single pony Derpy visited on her route gave her a gift to take home with her. Let that sink in. Derpy had to make multiple trips to complete this route, and every single pony she visited gave her a gift. Isn't that a kind of town you'd want to live in during the holidays? And that's what I like about the story. Even when she was trudging through the snow on her job, the warmth of the season never left. As hard as a job as it was, and the fact that it delayed her getting home to her family, it's clearly not a thankless one. Ponyville appreciates Derpy, and everyone gave her a gift. And I like that about the story, the fact that even though it's about a mayor working on the holiday, it still never falls into that cynical category. Even in the part where Derpy is desperately, doing this job, trying to get home, working hard on the holiday, people still showed her the warmth and caring of the season. And of course, there's just Derpy and her family interacting and enjoying the holiday together. That was fun. I also like the little touches of the snow ponies each having their own unique way of being made, and it just was a really touching story, and I really liked how it captured that feeling of warmth. Everything about this story just makes Ponyville feel warm and inviting, even for a mayor that has to work on the holiday, and that's exactly what this time of year should be. Anyway, next week we'll be looking at another hearthwarming story. See you guys then. Like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Godzilla with One, and I still don't have a catchphrase.